Vince, you were checking the light levels, Vince? Okay. What was it at? For me, it should be 30-ish. When I'm wearing a jacket, it could even be less when I'm not. But it just, look, I know I'm a little nutty, but when we're standing here and I'm being just burnt out with lights, I feel washed out. So, all right, let me get Facebook loaded, WSA, and all right. All right, I'm on the WSA 9 Facebook page. All right, you ready, Vince? All right, stand by, Mary, in 3, 2, I'm sorry, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Howard Bernstein with you here at about 9:18 Sunday morning, giving you a little Facebook Live. Let's have a conversation about the snow we're dealing with. Not an epic storm, but certainly a pretty storm. Had some problems earlier with some bursts of heavy snow. The good news is it's a quick hitter. It'll be out of here probably by lunchtime for most of us, or maybe early afternoon. We get well above freezing, so we're going to do some melting and drying, so that's good. And if you do clean up, you'll be okay. If you don't clean up or have wet areas that the winds don't dry out, we're going to freeze rock solid with that tonight, with temps in the teens and 20s overnight. But we do have winter storm warnings in white, winter weather advisories. And yes, this is a downgrade for the Washington metro area, where yesterday the National Weather Service, we don't issue them, the Weather Service issues the watches, warnings, advisories, had the D.C. area and Baltimore up and down 95 in winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories west and east and south still. And this goes until noon at this point. And we've been seeing anywhere from an inch or two to as much as 6 inches, believe it or not, in Linville, Virginia. But overall, trace to 3-4 inches is what we've been experiencing across the Washington area this morning. And let me go through a few graphics, and then I've got my phone here, so I'm going to be looking at the feed with you as well, so that I can see what your questions are, your comments are, and we'll have this conversation going here this morning. In fact, this is the beauty of live, because right now things are not clicking along for me, so we'll just force the issue because we can. So this morning, that advisory is there. Why is this not playing for me? All right, weather-wise, let me talk about some of the snow totals that we've been looking at here this morning, where they have been, in some cases, some of these are from around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Some of these may be a little bit old, so we've got a lot of snow totals that we're going to be going over, but Winchester 1.8, Klein Gap around West Virginia, around 3-inch snow totals there. I'm looking at, oh boy, a bunch just came in here a moment ago, so let's take a peek at that. Frostburg, hardly anything out west. There was very little there. 2 inches in Smithsburg, by the way, up in northeastern Washington County near the Frederick County border. I'm sorry, Mary? 2 inches in Loudon. Where in Loudon? In
Leesburg.
All right, Leesburg. She's got 2 there. We had somebody had a 1 inch, 3 east of Leesburg, so maybe the northwest side had a little bit more. I'm just looking at some of the totals there. A lot of small totals there. 2 inches in Strasburg in the Shenandoah County, 1 inch in Damascus. That was at 7 a.m., so they might be at 2, 2.5. Anyway, Martinsburg had about 2 inches. Summer Duck, and that was before 8 a.m., that was at about a 1/2 inch as well, with 2.5 from Stringtown, Virginia, and Ashburn, 1.5 inches. So the storm itself is coming through. And areas west of I-81, the snow's very light here now, in fact, shedding down. It's the D.C. metro where we still have the blue, which has now moved south and east of town as well, where we're picking up some of that heavier, wet snow. And everywhere we see blue, this is moderate to locally heavy snow. That's the Blue Ridge. So I don't think western Loudoun's seeing it as much as, let's say, eastern Loudoun, or more so Montgomery, Fairfax, down through Prince William, with temperatures running anywhere from 29 in Hagerstown and Cumberland to 36 at Pax River. And yes, it can snow at 36 degrees. It melts almost on everything except the elevated and grassy surfaces, but it can snow there. We are down to 35, La Plata, Joint Base Andrews 32. And in some cases with radar, when you've got melting snowflakes, they are very good at reflecting the radar beam. So in this case, I think, yeah, this is probably moderate snow, but it's not thunder snow. It's not like 3-4 inches an hour. The melting snowflakes are making the bark look a little worse than the bite, so to speak. With Fairfax and down to Manassas, Quantico, the 301 corridor, yeah, it could be potentially snow-covered in spots, depending on how the road crews are doing. Germantown, Clarksburg, south and east, seeing more snow than, let's say, once you head up toward Hyattstown and Urbana and Frederick, where things are getting much lighter up there as of 9:22. You can see the heavier, darker colors here heading into Howard County, Reisterstown, into Baltimore County, almost to Columbia. So if you have to travel on Route 32 this morning through Howard County, you might want to wait a couple of hours. Same story across areas from Prince William, more so Manassas to I-95 as opposed to up toward Haymarket and Gainesville, although some of the lesser traveled roads in Prince William and Fauquier and Loudoun County certainly were snow covered and may still be snow covered for another hour or two. Gold Vein seeing some moderate snow over to Stafford and Fredericksburg into La Plata, east through Hughesville, Aquasco, Mechanicsville down to Leonardtown, now in Lexington Park, Prince Frederick up to Upper Marlboro. So yes, we still have quite a bit of snow to go for another couple of hours, and then things will settle down later this morning, especially as we head toward the lunch hour. Let's see what's going on in Washington now. Yeah, that is a reduced visibility due to the snow in town, which is going to mix with potentially a little bit of rain. It may stay as snow before ending. It may mix as a little rain. Either way, it'll wind down noon, 1 o'clock. This afternoon, we go from mostly cloudy to partly cloudy. Still expecting temps upper 30s and low 40s. So a good deal of melting there. And then we're looking at the futurecast here, which shows this pulling away. And this still could be snow, wet snow as opposed to rain at noon. But the key is the moisture in the afternoon pulls away. Still snowing quite heavily from New York north and east at 3:30. And then they dry out late this afternoon, this evening. With the cold air tonight, we'll be seeing temperatures in the teens and the 20s. All right, I want to get to some of your questions and stuff. So give me a sec. I'm going to load the video here on my phone. So we'll try to do this real time.
If not, I can see it for you, Howard.
Well, Amir, if you got anything to add right now, go for it. But I'm going to, I have found it.
You got it?
I got it. All right.
Snowing in Rixleyville, Virginia, says Lavina Resto.
She said Frederick, 5 inches. What part of Frederick? Because last I saw it was like 2.5. So is that in like the Catoctons or is that downtown? Hey, Charlie, Lake Anna's got about 2 inches. Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate that. Chesapeake Beach, Jerry, over toward Calvert County there, North Beach as well, right on the river. 4 inches in Mount Gilead in Leesburg. All right, wow, okay. So you guys have gotten to some of that heavy snow. So that was our 2 to 4 plus we were talking about. Some of the folks have got that 5 inches near Shenandoah National Park, and that makes sense. They started snowing a lot earlier with the elevation toward Front Royal. And yes, they had some issues where we were seeing the snow sticking on the road. Even I was looking at some of the cameras here like 4:35 a.m. and you could see out toward I-81 and the park where things were certainly snow covered in those areas. Yeah, let me show you some of the other pictures I wanted to share, I believe. I think I had some viewer pics that we were sharing with you as well. Snowing in Manassas, snowing nicely in Frederick still. Thank you, Susan. All right. Anyway, the nice thing about this, this was Clarksburg. My wife took this at about 8:30 or so, and we probably had an inch, maybe 2 going on at that point. We changed over also, probably about 5:30 it looked at. I was looking at the camera around 2:70. And the one thing I love about this snow too, being a nice wet snow, how it's just clinging and flocking, you know, like the flocked Christmas trees. And Mary, you're from New Orleans. One of the first times I ever really saw the flocked Christmas trees was down in the New Orleans area.
Really?
Yeah.
That's oddly enough.
A home we were in a home, my wife was tutoring somebody, and they invited us over for the holidays. And they had a flocked Christmas tree and a non-flocked Christmas tree. They had 2 trees in that house. So this is what it's reminding me of on this scene in Clarksburg. And, hashtag WUSA9 weather or near me on the app. And I think I've got one more if I back up. Yeah, Chester took this in Rockville. And Eric was in Adamstown. I think this is around 8 o'clock, so this is an hour and a half ago. Adamstown had like 2.4. They could be easily 3.5 at this point. That was 90 minutes ago. Adamstown is in southern Frederick County if you're going south on 85 there, you know, through Buckystown and stuff. And this was Chris in Alexandria, again closer to 8 where it had just started snowing. He was getting a little frustrated with the rain and wanted snow. He's a snow lover like I am, so he saw that. And yeah, we saw Clarksburg already. Let me see what else you got going on. Coming down heavy in Fairfax. Started snowing in Front Royal at 5. Yes, it did. What else we got going on? A slushy inch in Tenleytown. Yeah, we were on the weather terrace. And I don't know, Vince, do we have camera 7 ready by any chance in Northwest D.C. On the weather terrace? I noticed at about 8:30, it looks like we were approaching maybe ½ an inch on the elevated surfaces. So I don't imagine we probably have too much slush on the side roads. I'm sure Wisconsin Avenue is fine, but even in Northwest D.C., yeah, you're right about that slushy inch generally. So if you're in Tenleytown, yeah, you're literally around the corner from us or a couple blocks away. Abigail's got 2 inches in Damascus. Thank you for that. That's in northern Montgomery County. I'm just going down. Should start to end by noon, done by 3. Yeah, and Mary says done by 3. It could be done by 1. It could be done noon if you're west of town. I mean, I don't think, this thing's a pretty quick hitter. 4 inches in Lincoln. Well, Dana, where is Lincoln? I do not know exactly where Lincoln is. So if you could just give me a little bit more reference on that, we'll share that information. Marion, Virginia. Hi, Emilio. Marion, remind me where Marion is as well, and I'll do my best to answer your question. Heavy dusting in Port Tobacco. Yeah, so you're down in Charles County, and I believe Port Tobacco is in Charles County, where it was later to get over there, so they've got that coating, and you could still pick up an inch or 2, in my opinion. Maybe outside chance at 3 if you get into one of those heavier bands, but I'm probably thinking, a wet inch down there as well. Just going through here. Snowing steadily in Woodbridge, yes it is, and that's camera 7, by the way. So this is a live shot out on the weather terrace, and you'll notice we still have some areas of the deck showing, but a coating on all of the elevated surfaces, and we still have some, it looks like a moderate snow almost there, light to moderate with a big fat flakes. And one of the reasons we get the big fat flakes, when it's near freezing like this, right, these flakes are melting a little bit on the way down. So then they start to stick together. So it's not like you got one snowflake, which is, a quarter, half an inch across. No, it's a congregation, if you will, of snowflakes that have stuck together on the way down. That's why they're working in unison there, and they're not individual private contractors, independent contractors. They're working together. So that's why it looks like you've got these big, in some cases, when you get the $50 size flakes coming down, yeah, that's probably 100 flakes together, just sticking together because they slightly melted on the way down. Winter weather advisories are up until noon in the lighter purple, the white counties in Loudoun, Upper Montgomery, Frederick, Carroll, Western Howard, Northern Fauquier, Culpeper out to Front Royal and South and West. Those are winter storm warnings, again till noon, for the possibility of up to 5 inches. And we've only seen some very isolated areas with that much. Most of the snowfall has been in the 2 to 4, 1 to 3 range in some places. And Herndon, Mary, when did that Herndon report come in? Because that's probably a little bit dated, I'm thinking, at 3/10 of an inch.
Herndon.
You know what I'm saying? That's dated. And even the summer duck from Adam's pretty good for us, but that was probably 7:30, 8 o'clock. So we think we have more summer ducks in southern Fauquier County, not too far from Bealton, Catlett, that area. Martinsburg about 2.
Herndon,
Winchester
1.5,
also.
8:14.
All right, so that was over an hour ago in Herndon. So they could have another ½ inch, maybe an inch on top of that. Ashburn, 1.5 inches. With Deer Park, Maryland. I don't even know where Deer Park, Maryland is, Mary, with 1 inch. And Linville's outside of Harrisonburg. We know that, but that was that 1 inch total there. The storm, and I'm trying to give you a little radar update and have this conversation with you. Hello from South Riding, Gabby. 2 inches in Leesburg with the biggest flake you've seen in your 74 years. Yeah, no, they're sticking together big time. So thank you for that. 4 inches in Middletown, and Middletown is not far from Boonesboro. That's in western Frederick County. I know Middletown there off Alt 40. 2 inches in New Carrollton. So that's one of our first reports in Prince George's County, I believe, in New Carrollton, 2 inches there.
My snow map has the updated Herndon with 1.5 inches.
So northwest Prince William County, yes, got it much worse than over toward I-95 because they were colder, higher elevation. And you know the difference. Haymarket, Gainesville often get it much worse than, let's say, Dale City, Appoquon Triangle, those areas, right? And that's what's been going on so far. Yeah, those areas up toward I-66, Route 15, much worse than down toward I-95. It's just a little bit warmer. Bunker Hill, 3 inches. I believe that's not far from like Martinsburg, Inwood, Charlestown, Harper's Ferry area over in that way. Spotsylvania, yeah, Pansy, somebody about an hour ago shared some beautiful video with me of the big fat snowflakes coming down in Spotsylvania as well. 3.5 in Silver Spring. Okay. Northern Silver Spring or closer to the Beltway? I'm just curious where, because Silver Spring can also, with a little elevation, have some bigger differences. 1.5 inches in Amosville. And that's interesting that you got 1.5 inches because it shows that with these bands we were pointing out, where you got these darker blue, where you get some banding, if you get into one of those bands, you picked up 1 inch more than somebody maybe 10, 15 miles away. And that's usually the nature of winter storms. And one thing that the science of meteorology just isn't very good at is knowing where these bands are going to be. We understand they're going to be there, but to understand the fluid dynamics, to come up with mathematical equations, to convert that to computational code, to figure out where their banding is, yeah, PhD guys or postdoctoral students, they're working on this, right? Guys in academia, government, they're working on it. We're just not there. So we get these bands and we know, and in some of the cases here, we also have melting snowflakes that are making it look a little worse. But there's a lot of areas still in Germantown, Rockville, out into Fairfax, Waldorf, La Plata, across Prince George's County now. It almost looks like over toward Joint Base Andrews, Clinton, Brandywine, right? That are getting some of this moderate to locally heavy snow, and that may continue for another hour or two.
Howard, can we say
Yes.
a happy birthday to George Waring on a snowy happy
Of course
birthday?
you can. Hi, George. Happy birthday. Yeah, this would make my birthday. This, good
Wouldn't that be
pizza,
a good birthday present for you?
this great pizza and an ice cream cake from Carvel would be the ultimate birthday for me, Mary. I'm very simple with those things. Very simple. Yeah, it was always tradition, being from the Long Island area, that we go to our favorite pizza place and get a Carvel cake, and that's just our birthday for us. Hanover, Pennsylvania, 3 inches. 3 to 4 in Charlestown. Thanks, Sissy. Marion, Virginia is 30 miles from Bristol. Oh, Tennessee. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is way down I-81, and they're almost done, I think, with the storm down there, as it was coming from there first. Marion's interesting because they're sort of in the mountains. I just don't know what the elevation is, whether they're in the valley or not, but completely different climate than what we have here in Washington, and sometimes they get it, we don't, and vice versa. So Chad says global warming. Yeah, well, Chad, global warming is going on, but can you give a particular storm, say it's global warming? I don't think you can say yay or nay. The only thing I'll say about global warming, yeah, I think given the trends, we're in a warming climate. I think what we've seen when you look at like Hurricane Harvey, right, with all the rain that happened in the Houston area, what, 60 inches in spots? All right, maybe we would have had 40, 45 without it, because we've seen storms that have weak steering currents before we got as warm as we are today, right? But a warmer atmosphere holds more water, so you can have heavier rains and hurricanes. You could also have heavier snows. Just because we're in global warming doesn't mean it won't snow. We've just seen like the winter seem to start a little bit later and get a little bit shorter, and they seem to be more backloaded lately. Have you noticed? We're getting more of our snows February, March than we are in the front part of winter, just in the Washington area. And that's been my observation, I'll say, over the last decade or so around here. So, all right, that's the big chat on climate change for now. Let's get back to snow talk. When will be the next snow? Erica, good question. This is a tough one because we didn't think this, at one point early in the week, we thought it was going to snow. Midweek, like, it's not going to snow, it's going to miss the south and east, because we thought the Arctic air was going to come in and suppress everything out to the Carolinas and the Atlantic. And then the Arctic air was like, yeah, the models did really a bad job, so the guidance has been weak, so our forecast has been inconsistent. And the confidence level, I'll tell you, as I look at the models and they're still up and down, I think we might see something toward the end of the week, next weekend, but my confidence is not high on that. I think there's a ton of Arctic air that's going to be across parts of southern Canada, the northern U.S., the Great Lakes. How far south and east it penetrates into the mid-Atlantic, I still don't have a good feel for that. But that looks like it could happen later in the week toward next weekend. And the models are still a little up and down. So we have to watch almost in the 2 to 4 day period, because honestly, beyond 4 days right now, our forecasts have been erratic. And it's something we are looking at. We would love to be able to give you a 50-day forecast with complete accuracy. We can't, right? It's just, again, where the science of meteorology is at. And some patterns are easier to see farther out, some aren't. And right now, this has not been a good one. And I'll be the first to tell you, I don't think we've done well forecasting in the long range, because the guidance that we look at has not been consistent in the long range. So snowing in Dover, Delaware, it's above freezing. Excuse me, Scott. It can snow, I've seen snow in the 40s, like a thunder snow shower.
I have two.
So like mid to upper 40s. I was on Lake George, New York.
Oh, not that cold.
Years ago, and it was probably 46, 48, and it started to snow. Big towering queue came over, and the surface temperature is not where the snow is made. It's, it's made upstairs in the clouds. So if the clouds are cold enough, and they're cold enough, they'll snow. The only question is the column cold enough to support that snowflake without melting all the way down to the ground? And in your case, it could be 34, 36, 40. But if it's cold enough, long enough, or it's snowing hard enough, that flake will make it through the melting layer and make it down to the ground. So thanks, Esmeralda. Appreciate that. What else we got going? Beautiful in Winchester, and they're keeping up the roads. Yeah, so that's good. That is a well-behaved snow when it does that. And, oh, I just clicked off it, Mary.
You clicked off
Give me a second, unless there's a comment you're reading and want to address while I try to get back into our little video chat. I'm going to be here maybe just a few more minutes, so I will drive home in some of the snow. I think what I'm going to do, Mary, I brought some rubber bands with me. I'm going to mount my camera on my rear view mirror, right?
Yeah, and get some
use it
video
as a
on the way
dash
home.
cam, and I'll hit you up with a Facebook Live on mine. If you go to Howard Bernstein, what's it, that 909, I think. If you go to my Facebook page, maybe in like 20 minutes or so, I'll try to do a dash cam video driving home up 270, so we can show you those road conditions. But let me get back here. All right, we're going to come back here in a minute. Heavy snow in Temple Hills. All right, so now it is really starting to pick up east of town. We're getting all these reports in Prince George's County, Anne Arundel County. We still have some pockets of moderate snow back toward Warrenton, it looks like, in orange here. So it's holding on a little bit here west of I-95, Fairfax, Rockville, Silver Spring, Olney. But all of these areas, we've seen a lot more of the darker colors here, the brighter colors, if you will, in Prince George's County. Severns near Annapolis in Anne Arundel County, down through Leonardtown and Mechanicsville, much of Calvert County, seeing this light to moderate, occasionally heavy snowfall, which will likely go on for, it's 9:38 now, maybe another couple hours, outside chance more than that, but probably another couple hours before things start to really wind down. Williamsport still snowing at a good clip. Now, Williamsport is just north of the state line on I-81, basically, with West Virginia and Maryland in the Hagerstown area. So what do you got, about 2, maybe 3 inches in Williamsport, I'm guessing? Heavy snow picking back up in Severn, she said, coming down in Fredericksburg as well. And we were seeing that here, so we've got that half-inch-an-hour snow rate there, also between Stafford and Quantico, across the river to Nanjemoy, up toward Indian Head and Pamunkey, and just west of La Plata. Waldorf, boy, check this out. This is some pretty heavy return. So moderate snow. There's, again, some melting snowflakes that are causing the higher reflectivity. Clinton, well, that makes sense with everything else that we're looking at here. That's snow. Don't worry. I mean, I don't know why it's saying it isn't, but that's sno.
Hey, Howard, we got some new snow totals here.
Sure, Mary.
Centerville, 2.5 inches. Caro, hope I'm saying that correctly.
How do you spell that?
K-A-R-O, that's in Warren County, Virginia, with 3.5. 4 inches in Page County, Virginia, and 5.5 now in Staunton. Stanton. I always say that.
And
Sorry.
I always correct you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
And it's funny because we're not from the Shenandoah Valley. So when I came here, I said Staunton. Somebody said to me, hey, it's Stanton. So that's one thing when you're in broadcasting, and I've been here 20 years now. I've learned quite a bit about the area. But when you go someplace new, you learn these things. And Mary's from New Orleans, and she'll tell you, I got there, and so many things are in French.
Couldn't say Tchoupitoulas a bit.
I couldn't even spell Tchoupitoulas. What's it, T-C-H-O-U?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you spell Tchoupitoulas starting with T-C-H-O-U? But you get to a point, if you stay like in New Orleans long enough, you look at a word, it's French, you just know how to pronounce it, right? Like it's Hebert, not Hebert, right? If you're from New England, it's Hebert Candies. And there is a place called Hebert Candies, there's a store up there was. But Bobby Hebert was the Saints quarterback. So you have to learn these areas. Oh, still snowing hard in Leesburg, according to Kerry. Thank you, Kerry. And Charlestown as well. No snow in Southington, Connecticut. John, I don't know where Southington is. I'm from Long Island. It is in southern or northern Connecticut. It's down toward the coast. Because you guys, it's coming. I don't know if you were under a warning or an advisory, but there's certainly snow coming. 3 inches in Winchester, still snowing in Berryville. Leesburg. Jim Schuyler. Jim's out of the Baltimore area. Good morning, Jim. 35 degrees up that way. And we know about the snow in Clinton. Slushy dusting on the grass in Arbutus. Yes, all right. Jim, I'm going back to the comments. You said where you were. Thank you. Why couldn't you have the snow in Bushwood when it would have lasted longer? This is just a tease. It will be gone in a matter of hours. Janice, it will be, because temperatures today will be 40-ish this afternoon, and the next few days will be relatively mild. And again, we almost go back to the global warming comment. You know, we've troughed out as far as the climatologically cold part of the winter. That's really the second half of January. Average high in Washington is 45, approaching 46. The sun angle's getting higher. In the last few days, we were in the 50s, so the ground is not as cold as it was either. So this will fall. Appreciate it while you have it, and then it's going to melt, and then maybe later in the week, next weekend. And there's still plenty of time for more snows in the month of February and March even, but you're right. All of it gone by 7 p.m.? Well, it's the falling snow, most of it will be gone by noon. But, you know, I don't think all of it's going to melt by 7 o'clock unless you just got like a slushy inch or less. Then, yeah, maybe that'll be gone by 7 p.m. All right, Manassas still snow. All right, thanks, John. Snowing in Philly, not much sticking. Not yet, Patrick. The heavier amounts have not moved up your way, the heavier snow, the better lift. So I don't think you've got them there. And I don't know if Philly's going to get into the heavy stuff or it's going to stay more Delaware, New Jersey. And you might be just a hair far north and west in Philly to get the good stuff today. And, all right, snowing in Wood, PA, south central Pennsylvania. All right, well where is that, Billy? I know Pennsylvania pretty well, from Breezewood up to Altoona, Hollidaysburg, those areas. I know pretty well. I got to tell you, Mary, I'm getting a little dry from all of this talking. All right, I'm going to be going here in about 1 or 2 minutes. So we'll do like Kramer does on Mad Money with the lightning round. You got any last questions?
You did not go Jim Kramer lightning round for snow.
I should roll up my sleeves halfway up my arm.
You should, right? Like and you got to be all pumped
boom,
up.
Boom, boom, boom. I need buttons, sound effects, all that.
Yes.
Bye. No. I'm a fan of his, actually.
I'm a huge fan. I love him.
He's a very, very good. He's a good broadcaster, smart guy. Anyway,
yes, very.
Wes, you get the snowstorm we had in 2016. We will, even in a warming world, we will get the occasional dumping of snow. It might not happen every year. It might be 5 or 10 years, but we will get the occasional storm that comes up the East Coast, sinks with the cold, and boom, we pick up the 1 to 2 feet. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it happens here in Washington. So, yes, we had that big one. I think it was late January in 2016 is the one you're referring to, where we had, 20, 30 inches. And that was really the whole winter. There was very little snow outside that one storm in 2016. 3.75 in Silver Spring, Veers Mill in Connecticut. Thank you. Thank you. So that is not down toward the Beltway, Silver Spring. That's the northwest side of Silver Spring. 3 3/4. All right, so you're getting that 2 to 4 plus. You may be one of those that gets the locally more than 4. Port Deposit down south and Montrose also down toward the northern neck. Thanks, Alicia. I have a longtime weather watcher in Reedville that I should just get in the car and go see her. Nice lady, Jan, and she has been wonderful over the years. And it looks like a pretty part of the world, and I just need to get down there. It's just a matter of time. 20 minutes from Saxton. All right, well, I don't know where Saxton is, but thank you for putting that. That's a town I don't know. But if you know, like Breezewood, Everett, Bedford, North, I know I've done the drive quite often, even from Cumberland up toward Bedford on 220. So I get up there a lot. Beautiful part of the world. All right, guys. Mary, anything to add before I say sayonara on this Sunday morning?
No, I think that does it. Just this is all we have left right now, and by the time you get ready to go get your chicken wings and pizza and nacho dip or whatever it is you're going to eat for Super Bowl.
Yeah. And your Alka-Seltzer and Pepto-Bismol with that menu.
No, that's what I'm going to be having
in
on my menu.
moderation, I guess, right?
What's that?
Eat in moderation.
Yes, but eat all those things in moderation.
Right. All right, let's give you a wrap-up of the radar before I say goodbye. So it looks like the back edge now is coming almost to the state line in Northern Virginia, just west of Winchester and Strasburg and Gore and Cross Junction. So it looks like 522 west is pretty much done. I-81 west here is pretty much done. But east, we still have some pockets of moderate snow, even from Front Royal down to Orange into Fauquier County. Looks like right along the Blue Ridge, we still may have a little bit. This is the problem with radar. I can't tell if this is light to moderate snow or just the top of the Blue Ridge reflecting back to the radar site without a little bit more analysis. But this does look also like some moderate snow in Montgomery and Howard counties through D.C., Prince George's. Much of the region now is switched over to all snow except for maybe far south and east. But even Pax River, remember they were 39? Now they're down to 36 with most temperatures at 30 to 35. So if it's snowing hard enough, even at 34, we're overcoming the melting and sticking. And here we are with this little band here north and west of Leesburg here. So Hillsborough, Luckett's, Lovettsville, up toward Point of Rocks, Jefferson, Brunswick, perhaps right into Frederick. Montgomery County, light to moderate snow, looks like the heavier stuff. South and east of Rockville now into Fairfax, back to east of Manassas, maybe over by Fitzner Stadium there in Prince William County. Here's Silver Spring, D.C., over to College Park and Columbia to that one band north of Baltimore. We'll take you back down. Warrenton a little bit here, Quantico across the river, Nanjemoy. Check out this darker color here, west of La Plata now. That's been picking up in western Charles, back toward maybe like Mount Vernon and National Harbor, up toward Arlington, Alexandria, Upper Marlboro, Clinton, Waldorf. The 301 corridor, looks like this is going to be coming to you. So it is going to pick up, and we see it down in Calvert and St. Mary's as well, with a general 2 to 4 I will be saying goodbye and getting a glass of water in just a second. All right, we've got some precip if snow or rain, if it finishes that way over by like noon, 1 o'clock. Low 40s this afternoon. We clear out tonight. And whatever is wet, whatever the wind doesn't dry out, and whatever you don't clear and shovel becomes ice tonight as lows get into the teens and 20s. That is it for this Sunday morning. I will see you tomorrow morning on Get Up DC starting at 4:25. Hopefully you will view us. Or if you are going to watch the Super Bowl, just a reminder, if you don't realize it, if you haven't heard it a gazillion times, it's right here on WUSA 9. I believe kickoff is at 6:35. And we've got great stuff on the news tonight and tomorrow morning. A lot of Super Bowl related stories, a lot of really good stories that we've been working hard on. So we hope that you will stick around for WUSA 9 after the game and tomorrow morning following the Super Bowl right here on Channel 9. For Mary Marshall, I'm meteorologist Howard Bernstein. Have a great Sunday, everybody.